Welcome to Nexus Edge, the show that will help you get an edge on your competition. My name is Turd Herder, and I'm your esteemed host of the Nexus Edge, and this is episode 9. We're going to talk about the playoffs. Oh, and a little bit about Division A. So why don't we go on over to the full panel? Let's introduce everyone. So today I'm joined by Ziltoid.
Hey, guys.
He's back. He's feeling good. He's ready. Oh, yeah. And then over to his right, we have Whoa No.
Howdy.
Very nice. And then today, we've been joined by my favorite person in NGS with the word zombie in his name.
Oh.
It is MarcZombie.
Hey, how's it going, Turd Herder? Happy to be here.
Thank you for being here, and we really appreciate coming on in to be one of our guests. You are a newly named veteran caster, right?
Yeah. And I heard you either have to know someone in the Nexus Cats or be in a basement to get on the show. But luckily, not being in the basement, I know someone on Nexus Cats.
There you go. As far as I know, Wono and I are still in a basement, so we'll hold up that end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mark, why don't you tell us about your start in NGS?
Yeah, so my start in NGS was the previous season when an old WoW buddy by the name of Shadowguard got a hold of me. We basically had been playing, we played WoW at one point in like 2010, 11, and we've just been on each other's friends list and like Facebook a little bit. But he reached out and asked if I wanted to join a team with some of his old Heroes of the Dorm squad. So yeah, I was like, yeah, sure. I hopped in, played some quick match and some team league, and then became really good friends. And yeah, so we're coming back for a second season.
And being joined by the very best support sub ever.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of I feel like starstruck being here, getting to hear you say the edge on your competition. That was really good.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, before we get into a little bit further into the show, let's take a quick minute and want to thank all of our Patreon patrons. Without you guys, NGS would be not the same. You guys help support the website, all of the things that you might not normally think have costs. The Patreon and the patrons there giving money are definitely there. And if you're not a patron, you should go ahead and become a patron soon, because the season end rewards are being fulfilled as we speak. I filled out my emails today. So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon, go to check out, I think it's patreon.com/Nexus Gaming Series, or click the link down below. So, guys, Ziltoid, let's start with you, because it's been 2 weeks since I've talked to you. What's happened in the Nexus, my friend?
Just wrapped up the season, secured our 5th spot in the playoffs. I got veteran caster along with MarcZombie at the same time as well.
Very nice.
That's pretty much it so far.
Just a low-key veteran caster, no big deal.
It's been fun.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Wono, how about you? What happened in the Nexus this week?
Yeah, Ziltoid pretty much covered it, but we played our last game of the regular season against 10 Armor and took a 2-1 to them. They ended up finishing higher in the standings, as did a couple teams that we beat in the regular season, so some early losses against some teams that are lower in the standings ended up costing us a maybe higher seed, but I think overall we're pretty happy with our 5th place seed and our matchups coming up, so looking forward to the playoffs.
We got a hard run ahead of us, though. Every matchup's going to be rough.
Yeah,
that's how playoffs are supposed to be, though, hey?
Yeah. I mean, it's the grand finalist in any division is going to be well-earned, I think. So, Mark, what have you been doing in the Nexus?
Well, gee, in the Nexus, so Nexus Cats, we were in there finishing up our final match of the season as well. wasn't. It was a good series. We unfortunately lost 2-1, but that puts us in, I believe, a 3-way tie between Save the Marlocks and Frankfurters and the Cats for the playoffs. So
That's correct.
And then also did a handful of casted games, of course. It was awesome to be joined by my childhood best friend, Bob. So I'm pretty happy that we've been getting to do those. Our current work schedules and stuff sync up where we can, hang out and watch Heroes of Storm cast games together. So been trying to take advantage of that when I can.
Very nice. And you've been casting just about every day during the day too, correct?
So I usually do about 2 a week, I would say, and then I most recently did the Thursday night showdown with Murda.
And how'd that go? Big fan?
Yeah, it was a great series. Some crazy games. My first time getting to kind of hang out and cast with Murda was really, really cool. I would hopefully love to do it again.
Very nice. Well, and I think with veteran caster, you get priority in the playoffs, so we'll be seeing hopefully quite a bit more of you, right?
Yeah. I hope to continue to do at least 2 a week. It's really just kind of that's one of the things I like a lot about the system is there's so many games being played, and you can kind of just once you have everything set up, it's like, all right, well, do I feel like I've got an opening tonight? Yes, likely there's a game. So yeah, it's been awesome. Very
nice. Happy to hear it. And for me, I was subbing. I did a very good job warming the bench this week. A+ job. And besides that, I got up to bronze 1.
Hey!
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. I'm
almost
up to
out
50%. Yeah. I'm at 50% win rate, so I am the self-declared #1 bronze player in NGS. Don't at me, or do. We'll find out if you're better than me. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm the undisputed #1 best bronze player in NGS. So
almost a silver.
Almost the worst silver in NGS.
Such a fine line between those two.
Yeah. All right, guys. Before we move on to the biggest chunk of this show and what I think a lot of people out here are waiting for, let's just cover a couple things real quick. There's one division we have that isn't in playoffs. Ziltoid, tell us about that division.
Division A, our biggest division, is still trying to wrap up its sets. Lots of games really trying to be shoved in. If you look at the calendar, it's just chock full of Div A matches. One of the ones that we'll probably see potentially repeated in the playoffs will most likely be Queen's Consorts versus Nobo E-Sprouts. But what's worth really talking about in the current set is the ones trying to make it in to the playoffs for those last 7th and 8th seed slots. The big contenders really are Thick Mama White Mane Hots, Sky 5, and Regen Retro. Now, Thick Mama White Mane Hots has lots of matches to schedule, but they only have one up on, so it's going to be kind of hard to see but they do play Nobo E-Sprouts right off the bat. Obviously, Nobo E-Sprouts is at the top of the division, so it's hard to see them getting their win they need there. But they also have Gimme the D Shield, which is I think ranked 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Again, nothing's set in stone quite yet until the season wraps up, which will also be a hard matchup for them to do. But they do have, I think, Lion Speed. That they do have a potential of taking out in that. So they have plenty of options or ways to get back into the playoffs. They just got to secure pretty much 1 or 2 of those wins because Sky 5 has a pretty rough matchup right off the bat. I think they have to play... just give me a second here. I saw
They play Nobo tonight.
They play Nobo tonight. So they have 2 matches this week that are scheduled. Nobo's a pretty rough matchup for them as well. So we'll see if they can secure the victory there. If not, they've got another chance at redemption versus Regen Retro. And I think that's the match of the week to really watch out for. As Sky 5 also plays Dread Pirates that week, so they're also trying to wrap up all of their matches. So if Sky 5 can pick up that win against Regen Retro, and maybe at least a map win against one of the other two teams, they might be able to secure their spot. Now, Regen Retro, if they can win against Sky 5, I think have a good chance of securing themselves a playoff spot due to the fact that Sky 5's got a pretty tough schedule this week outside of playing against them. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out for those last spots before we finally see what the playoff picture is. But we'll have more to talk about next week.
Yeah, and interesting to note, shout out quickly to Hollis, captain of Queen's Consorts. In Division A chat, he actually posted kind of like I'll call it like a percentage chance of making playoff matrix. So shout out to him for taking the time to do that for his division, and kind of, I think it was self-interest, but also, it was really cool to see. And, as someone who watches and looks at stats a lot here. So shout out to him. That was pretty neat. Anything else on Division A, guys, Mark or Woe?
I think Ziltoid did a pretty good job covering it. Like, I think there's one, two, three, four, five. There's like 8 games on the schedule for the week, and I think there's still 4 that need to be scheduled. So it's a jam-packed week for Div A. The top couple teams, I think there's 4 teams that are guaranteed for playoffs, but obviously that means there's 4 spots up for grabs. So there's a lot that can happen, a lot of shuffling in the standings. So should be a really interesting week for them, and will be good to check back in next week to see how things have shaken down.
Yeah, it looks like there's 5 teams: Nobro, Queen's Consorts, Dread Pirates, Gimme the D Shield, and Ferrets with 100% chance, according to Hollis's spreadsheet, and then Lion Speed at 93.8. And then it looks like everyone else except for Team Name, Luxurian Sun, and Nightwood are still potentially viable. So, like you said, 12 matches, it'll be interesting to watch. So, all right, guys, are you ready to talk about the playoffs? Woo!
Yeah.
Maybe?
For the rest of the divisions,
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, before we let Mark and Woe talk, we're going to have Ziltoid talk again, because he is going to tell us about the playoffs in Heroic.
Get it all out now.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch me talk too long anyways. So, Heroic Division, there's 2 matches scheduled this week. We have Insomnia versus Moto, and we have Revive versus Montreal Style Bagels. Insomnia versus Moto is the chance for Moto to get some redemption, because they've had a pretty rough season so far. Insomnia has actually been able to pick up a few wins here and there, and kind of been able to secure a bit of a better position than them. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously it's Montreal Style Bagels is kind of the lowest one in the bracket right now. So Insomnia versus Moto should be a very close match, and it'll be interesting to see which one of those two actually come out. I think Insomnia beat Moto in the regular season, so I think Moto is definitely looking for some revenge here. And if they put the practice time in, they have a chance for it. As far as Revive versus Montreal Style Bagels, Revive is 3rd place after Slub Gaming and Abusement Park, who are all just barely ahead of each other by 1 point apiece. Whereas Montreal Style Bagels, again, has struggled a bit in this division, as they've got some really tough teams to deal with regularly. So it'll be interesting to see if an upset can happen. I know those guys work hard, and they're all from the same region within Canada. They all play together very closely, so maybe that can show through during the playoffs. But I am expecting Revive. They've been scrimming a lot, obviously, because they're in Division S too as well. So it's an uphill battle for Montreal Style Bagels to see if they can not get eliminated here in the first round.
Now, one thing to mention, Heroic has a different playoff bracket than the other divisions, right?
Yeah, it's I think it's a round robin. or double elimination. Sorry, double elimination bracket.
I was going to say, I thought it was double
So,
elimination. Yeah.
Even if Moto and Montreal Style Bagels do get eliminated, they do have the opportunity to come back later in later rounds. And this will be a good experience for them, especially Moto. I'm expecting, to try to pick up a win here. But even if they go down, they might learn enough to be able to sustain them through the bracket. Same thing with Montreal Style Bagels. If they can scout enough, kind of learn enough, even if they go down in the first round, they have an opportunity to get themselves back into it.
Very nice. And now it's the time that I've been waiting for. I hope that you've been waiting for too. We're going to go through the NGS brackets for Division B, C, and D. But before I do that, I do want to mention that if you were sitting in the Discord today, which is Monday, today for us is Monday, Arthanow announced a new contest. The first time ever, NGS is going to do a bracket contest out of these next 3 divisions. So follow the rules. It's in the Discord under the Hype channel. Follow the rules, submit your brackets, check them at the end of the season, see if you've won. I believe there's a couple skins in it for the winner. I'm really excited. I took the time to fill out most of my brackets, but I didn't fill out all the brackets because I've been waiting for this exact moment. So, without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Division B East, and we'll hope that there's some magic here with our after production with Jason, so he'll be able to help us out and help everyone at home as we look at this bracket. So, as expected, we had Gilly Shark taking the number 1 seed. But, tell us, what can we predict out of this bracket here?
So Gilly Shark took the number 1 seed, and I definitely think that they're a force to be reckoned with in that kind of top section of the bracket. I see them beating XL Esports in the first match. The second match in that top bracket, Minion Miners and Jailbait, is a little bit more interesting. So that's the 4th seed and the 5th seed. Jailbait did come out on top 2-1 in the regular season, but both are very solid teams, and I could see that match going either way.
But you gotta pick one.
Do you want me to spoil my entire bracket? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I think we're showing your bracket right now.
We're showing my bracket. Okay.
I think. So we'll see what Jason comes up with.
I went with the regular season. I picked Jailbait, though. That one, like I said, could go either way. And then I see Gilly Shark taking out Jailbait to take the number 1 seed going into the finals.
Now, real quick, Mark, Excel Esports. That's your brother.
It's my brother, yeah. So Casey, or AC from Excel Esports. Team name is changing to Die for Vision, but currently they're still Excel, as their previous captain quit mid-season. But one interesting little tidbit is I spoke with Casey the other day, and he's feeling pretty good about their Gilly Shark match, as they just played against Hodis in their last week there, and actually walked away with a 2-0 domination over Hodis. And Hodis was, I don't know if it was the first team to take out Gilly Shark, but yeah, basically with that train of logic, I don't know. We might see an upset there. I don't know.
So I think we know what Mark's bracket looks like.
Yeah, had I once I get to that part, I will probably be choosing Excel.
So you're filling it out as you go too, huh? Yeah.
I'm by the seat of his pants.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we finish out the bottom half of B East here for the round 1 matchups?
Yeah. I see NUES taking out Lubu in their first round match there. NUES, new team to NGS, but very strong team, showing quite well. Hodis and Reborn Knights Black was a little interesting too for me. Hodis obviously kind of turning it on in the end of the season. They beat Gilly Shark. They lost to Excel, but generally a really strong team for NGS playoffs. Reborn Knights Black, they've shown well, but they seem to have a little bit of trouble closing out matches. I think they're one of those teams that's just about there to being a real top contender, but I don't think they've quite put in enough work or put it all together yet. So I think Hodis takes that one, and then maybe in a shocking twist, I see Hodis taking out NUES and going into the finals against Gilly Shark.
Very, very interesting. Who wins that matchup for you?
Tough one, but based on history alone, I think Hodis walks away with the B East championship.
That'd be a number 2 seed upset.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Ziltoid, did you feel any differently about the B East, or?
Yes.
Nice.
Of
Nice.
So I've watched a few Minion Miners games. I think if they actually get their stuff together, they definitely can challenge teams like Gilly Shark. So I actually took them to. I took Gilly Shark over XL, but of course, maybe we see an upset there. But I did take Minion Miners over Gilly Shark, so it might be interesting to see if that actually ends up happening. I think if they've got all their ducks in a row, it's definitely my bracket's going to be based a lot on making certain bets on certain teams, basically in the playoffs. Whether they kind of just because some teams they don't turn on until playoffs because sometimes not everything comes together till then. So and even just the idea of playoffs tends to kind of change somehow the teams tend to play. So I do think that certain teams that have shown those moments of really fantastic play can possibly just turn it on in the playoffs. In the lower half of the bracket, I do think NUES takes out Lubu. I do think HOTUS takes out Reborn Knights Black, but I'm thinking NUES actually beats HOTUS. This would be an upset because HOTUS is a very good playoff team, traditionally speaking. But I think NUES is one of those teams that is very hard to quantify because it is their first season, and they did take the third spot in the season already. And I think if they have the proper prep work going into the playoffs, we might see an interesting run from them. And actually, since I have Minion Miners and NUS in the finals for B East, I actually think NUES might take it.
The Div B East potential finalists, huh?
Yep.
Very interesting. Yeah, I definitely had Minion Miners taking up the top half of the bracket. I think that they're going to pull it together against the Gilly Shark team. But that's going to be a very tough matchup. Definitely round 2 for both of these, the bottom half and the top half, are going to be phenomenal. And, without getting too far ahead here, I think round 2 for most of these divisions is going to be the matchups to watch, really. I'm not quite decided on the bottom half, though. So, and especially you guys didn't help me by splitting it. I definitely think HOTUS is going to beat Reborn Knights, and NUES is going to take out Lubu. But what happens after that, I don't know.
What's your gut telling you, Turd? What are you feeling?
And this was the first Thursday night showdown too, right?
Yes, I want to say, yeah.
I think it is.
And NUES walked away with it.
That's it. That's it for me. NUES versus Minion Miners. But then my gut says Minion Miners. I know one of the analysts, Himibo, and then I know Cawthon. So I'm going to go with Minion Miners. Div B East division champs. Mark, what your bracket? Finish it out.
For B?
B East. Yeah.
Yeah, I only have my C division prepared.
Alrighty, we will get there soon,
So,
but
no
before we do, it is okay. Before we do, we're going to go to Division B West, which again, this is the Logical Decision Boys' home division.
Ooh.
Does the Logical Decision win it? Sorry. Does Logical Decision win the division? Say that 10 times fast.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking you, who wins it?
My philosophy in basically anything is if you don't picture yourself doing it, if you don't think you can be the best, how are you supposed to go out and do it? So therefore, I have ridden this Logical Decision train straight to the top. We're taking her all the way.
Grand finalists and all?
Grand finalists and all. Like, if I don't think we can do it, then we're not going to be able to do it.
Number one.
But to really...
any given Sunday, as they say. I mean, this is the playoffs. Zill was saying it too, with teams turning on, and I don't think Logical Decision is too far out to count them out. So let's go on through it. Number 1 seed, Virtual Murky Slayers. They lost one map in the regular season.
No. They dropped a set to Reborn Knights Red.
Mm-hmm.
Domination set or regular set?
Yeah, they got 2-0'd.
Oh wow. Okay, so.
Makes things a little interesting.
There's some weakness there. Like they're not infallible.
They're not invincible.
if they figure out what tends to work for a team like Virtual Mercusayers, you could even potentially see Regen Blue manage to take a victory. I'd still give that about an 80-20 split. No offense to the Regen boys, which are good friends of ours, but we also get along with everybody in this division quite a bit, and we've scrimmed a good portion of them. So it's kind of hard for us to be. Well, it's easy for me to be objective about it, just because I have a pretty good line on the kind of the skill level of everybody to some degree. But let Will continue to finish out his bracket predictions.
Very nice. Yeah, round one. Who takes it, Will?
So as much as we do love the Regen Blue boys, at this point in the game, I just don't see them taking out Virtual Murky Slayers. Virtual Murky Slayers, despite their little falter, still a very solid team. Mm-hmm. Logical Decision and Reborn Knights Red, obviously you know who I pick. That being said, Reborn Knights Red were the very first team we played in the season. We beat them 2-1, but it's been a long time since we've kind of played them and seen what they can do. And that being said, they did 2-0 Virtual Murky Slayers, so maybe they're turning it on at the back half of the season, and maybe they're going to upset us. I mean, well, it doesn't count as an upset, they're 4th seed, but yeah. I still think we can take them. Nothing I've seen from them, watching back their gameplay and catching some of their games, has really been shocking or surprising or anything that I don't think we can deal with. So I definitely think we take it there. The matchup between us and VMS is a lot more interesting. We scrimmed them back in the Heroes Lounge days before. We didn't actually play each other, but they're just scrims, so take it with a grain of salt. We beat them 4-0. But the team that we played then is a far cry from the team that's playing in the series now, who are really turning it on and coming alive. The one thing I will say to kind of VMS's detriment is they do play a very similar style, and they have a lot of comfort pick heroes. So they are a bit predictable in terms of what they do and what their team play is like. So I think with proper planning, I think we can go in and we can take them out.
I'm still going VMS. If only because their logo. I've been a big fan of their logo since day one. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first. I got to stay to my guns, or stick to my guns. Virtual Murky Slayer. Not that I don't think you guys are going to do great. I think it's going to be an excellent series. They seem like a powerhouse in that division.
Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got to get there first.
Yeah. Exactly. But that was my prediction. So moving on to the bottom half of the division, we have Wholesome Halfwits taking on Soak Every Lane in SpongeBob letters. Mm-hmm. So Ziltoid, who takes up that, or who takes that matchup?
Wholesome Halfwits.
That's who I had too. Yeah. Whoa.
I give it to the Halfwits. Soak Every Lane's missing B-Med still. Not that he's far and away the best player in Div B, but he definitely helps out in their solo lane and brings an air of unpredictability to the team by playing those heroes that teams aren't used to facing. But
if anything, just nuking those bans.
Yeah, it's true. He draws so many bans just in and of himself that he opens up what the rest of the team can play.
Right.
And the rest of the guys are solid on the squad, but Wholesome Halfwits have looked really good throughout the season. They took a map off VMS. They finished pretty strong, so I see them taking that win.
Yeah, and Key, our research analyst extraordinaire behind the scenes, he's on Soak Every Lane, so he might not be happy watching this show, but nothing against Key. I think they have a great team. I've played with him. He came down to witness the bronze amazingness.
The blessings of the bronze.
The blessings of the bronze himself firsthand, and he was just astounded. But besides
let's point out that Wholesome Halfwits has had a pretty good playoff record in NGS in previous seasons, winning championships in their 1 or 2 times already.
Yeah.
So you got to keep in mind that Soak Every Lane, this is their first playoff appearance, I think. So taking on a team like
team.
Yeah. So taking on Wholesome Halfwits is going to be, these guys have playoff experience, and that factors into a bit,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that kind of goes into the next matchup, 10 Armor versus Arrogant Nephilim. Arrogant Nephilim have been around for quite a bit. 10 Armor, I think, is mostly a new team to the playoffs.
I think they're a combination of a couple old teams, good friends who've been playing together a while, maybe not on the same team or under the same name, but definitely quite a few names that I recognize have been around for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But out of any of the games in B West, I think this one might be the most unpredictable.
Yeah.
I give it over to 10 Armor. That being said, if I heard Arrogant Nephilim won, I would not be too surprised. I just think 10 Armor has a slight edge just based on what I've seen out of those two teams.
Yeah, I was going to call it a coin flip. It could be any of these teams, any given day. So, Ziltoid, what do you think?
I think flexibility in drafting comes in a bit, and if you look at Arrogant Nephilim versus 10 Armor, I believe that 10 Armor has the ability to flex a bit in their drafting areas, whereas Arrogant Nephilim tends to be a bit predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to think that between those two squads, given the skill is very close, I would give it to 10 Armor, just being able to come in with something that Arrogant Nephilim isn't prepared for.
Yeah.
And will probably be able to secure the series there. Although, again, 2-1 most likely. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any dominations in that set, as it could go either way. But I could be surprised. And Arrogant Nephilim, don't count them out. They're a very strong team. They play what they play very well. And if 10 Armor doesn't have an answer for what Arrogant Nephilim's bringing, then it's definitely going to go both ways. But just like Woe, I do expect 10 Armor to take the win.
Very nice. And then Wholesome Halfwits taking on 10 Armor. I gave it to Wholesome Halfwits. In my mind, I said, because they were one of the teams to first take a map off of Virtual Murky Slayers.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been they're the 2 seed, so they've been up there towards the top of the division for quite a while. So I gave it to Wholesome Halfwits in that matchup. And I think it goes that way, whether it's Arrogant Nephilim or 10 Armor playing. What are your thoughts on that, Woe?
Yeah, I gave it to Wholesome Halfwits over the 10 Armor matchup. I just think out of the teams in the bottom of the bracket, Wholesome Halfwits are the strongest of those 4. It would be an upset to not see them making it through the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it should be should consider that Wholesome Halfwits do have Neutrons as a player, and when he picks Raynor, he is Jimmy Neutrons. So
that is very important.
Yeah, and apparently, I cast one of their games, and I pointed that out, and the captain reached out and said, "Hey, also shout outs, nice job. No one's noticed Jimmy Neutrons before."
Yeah,
so, definitely intended.
I'm all about that. That might just change my pick. I'm going to take Wholesome Halfwits over Virtual Murky Slayers.
Got him.
No, but for real, what is the Virtual Murky Slayer versus Wholesome Halfwit matchup going to look like, do you guys think? Whoa.
Well, it's tough to say because Virtual Murky Slayers won't be there. It's going to be Logical Decision. So, not sure why you walked yourself into that trap.
You know what? Ziltoid, answer the question. No, continue. Sorry.
Keep going for me.
Sure.
We lost 2-1 to the Halfwits in the season. We scrimmed them a couple times and come out pretty even to them. So I think we're pretty close to them in terms of overall team power. So for that matchup, I gave it to us. But it's really whoever shows up the day of and plays the best. It's really all I can say.
In a universe, and I know this isn't the universe we live in, but in a universe where Virtual Murky Slayers beats Logical Decision in round 2, what do you think the chances are of them taking out Wholesome Halfwits?
Oh, well, if Virtual Murky Slayers beats Logical Decision, they're running on a hot streak, so you can pretty much guarantee that they're going into that final match guns a-blazing. Out of the 2 teams, I think Virtual Murky Slayers, they 2-1 Wholesome Halfwits. It'll be another close match, good match between those 2, but I would lean towards Virtual Murky Slayers, I think.
I actually disagree. I think if Wholesome Halfwits meet them in the championships, they'll win.
So you guys are splitting again? Don't do this.
Yeah.
I gotta fill out my bracket.
Again, I think that it all comes down to playoff experience, and then on top of that, I think there's definitely some things that Virtual Murky Slayers have that could be exploited, and after the first round with them, Wholesome Halfwits I expect will probably have identified what those things are. And if they can get the execution on it, I actually think that that's more likely. So, like I said, it's always hard to predict because we still don't know what's going to happen in the first round. Right. So, hypothetically speaking, if EMS does make it through to that round, and it's not Reborn Knights Red or us, or Regen Blue. Wholesome Halfwits is potentially, could definitely take the whole division.
Absolutely. And then, so now we have grand finals. Mine looks like Virtual Murky Slayers versus Minion Miners. And man, this is always so hard. It's a best of 5 series, so it's a different, it's a weird series.
Okay.
It's a whole nother beast, best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
So it's a whole different beast, best of 5.
Exactly. And these teams have never played each other in the regular season, so it's just anything could happen. I'm giving it to my boys, Minion Miners, for the Division B champs, numero uno grand finalists. Whoa, logical decision, grand finalists.
Well, logical decision, grand finalists. Final
Perfect.
answer.
Good, yeah, final answer. Ziltoid.
Well, I'll take a Divergent just because obviously, just like WoW, we can't get there if we don't think we can. But
Right.
So in my own bracket, I've obviously put our team there. But looking at it objectively, if we do get eliminated, then I think it's going to be Wholesome Halfwits versus NUES.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't know. I think Wholesome Halfwits will clutch it out just with the experience. But I do generally think the power level of a lot of the B East teams tends to be better than the B West teams. So I'm actually going to go with NUES taking the championship this season.
There you go. All right, guys. We did it. We filled out my bracket for Division B. So,
hey, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. All right. Now
we can get out of the super controversial stuff where it includes our own team.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, everyone here is not in Division C.
Yeah, so this one will be very objective. Which
real heckin' objective up in here.
Real heckin' objective. And Mark, you've promised us that you have filled out this bracket.
The one and only, yes.
Yes.
didn't even fill out ours yet.
Yeah. Well, we know how that one goes. Spoiler alert. But let's get into it. Division C East. Let's start at the top. We have Found Vikings taking on Wood League.
Yeah, so I kind of just went by either some maybe personal bias I've had from casting some of these teams and or based on the stats. So for this one, I had Found Vikings. I mean, they're the number 1 seeded team there. Going up against...
Talk slowly, I'm typing, so...
Okay. Yeah, so I have Found Vikings. Yep. Yeah, I don't think I've seen either of these teams play, but just based on the standings alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick.
And then UARC versus Bancho.
Yeah, so UARC and Bancho are pretty much neck and neck here, sitting 4 and 5 respectively, with 20 points for UARC and 18 for Bancho. So pretty close, I'd say evenly matched teams. I myself happen to be a Cho'Gall main, so I want to see UARC win because I don't like the Bancho.
But it's gonna be banned.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. So Mark has
he's going to be banned, so I think that reduces their chances, don't you think?
Ziltoid, are you taking Bancho or?
No, I actually took UARC, but for different reasons.
What about
Ban Cho'Gall is a good point.
Very nice. And what is your Found Vikings versus Wood League matchup look like, Ziltoid?
Found Vikings. Wood League barely got in by the skin of their teeth. I think they're a good team, and I think that they've got a lot of potential, but I don't think this season's their season.
They're facing a tough matchup in number 1. I mean, it's tough to sneak into the playoffs and then play that number 1 seed right away. That's always going to be rough. Oh no. Yeah. Does your bracket look the same way as everyone else's?
It's got Found Vikings over Wood League and UARC over Bancho.
All right, I'll go with that one too then. If someone were inquiring as to who was going to win, Found Vikings or UARC Esports, Mark, what should they put down?
Yeah, I mean, I went with Found Vikings again. I don't have much background on the team, but just looking at the top seed versus number 4. I'm sure, I think shout-outs to NGS for this season and how, evenly matched some of these divisions are. Yeah. But I still go Found Vikings. I don't have much to base it off of other than...
I actually have a variation there.
Okay.
Oh.
I think UARC can take out the Fun Vikings. Now, this is, again, my bracket tends to reflect a lot of just kind of based off of what I've seen play-wise from teams and kind of experience and things like that. UARC went through a pretty, tough season of Heroes of the Storm, or Dorm, where they did the TESPA Collegiate Series, basically. And, they've in the last few weeks, they've had a lot of experience gathering going up against very, very top tier teams, things much above what they generally play in NGS. And I think, you can't underestimate the amount that you can learn from going up against teams like that on a regular basis. And I think in a playoff bracket setting like this, especially given the opportunity for another best of three, York definitely has a chance to make an upset happen. Now, there are conditions. They definitely have to bring something new to the table. They can't rely on Cho'Gall Zeratul to win them all the games. But, given the fact that they had a huge learning opportunity and experience, if they utilize this properly, they absolutely can take out the Found Vikings.
So your bracket looks like UARC taking on Found Vikings.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa. What's the tiebreaker? Who do I go with?
I'm going to tell you go with the Found Vikings. They're number 1 seed for a reason. A very strong team. They play to their strengths very well. A very good team fight team. And they have a lot of niche pocket pick heroes that demand a bunch of bans, kind of freeing up what else they can do. They have a very good Alarak, a very good Maiev. They play Mephisto. Their Alex Straza is very strong. So it's kind of a pick your poison with that team. And whatever they get, they end up doing well with. So, Found Vikings.
Guys, Ziltoid's argument was real compelling to me. So I'm going UARC Esports.
You're taking a risk. I'm just letting you know.
No, I know.
You will.
But that narrative to me is very. So this is how I fill out the the NCAA brackets and stuff like that. Is oh man, the narrative. They got the momentum. That kind of thing.
Build that storyline.
Oh yeah. It is what it is. But I agree that playing those harder teams. I've seen it with our own team. Playing those harder teams happens to bring you up a little bit.
As long as you learn from it.
As long as you learn from it, which we do, hopefully. Alrighty, Mark, let's take it down to the lower half of the bracket.
Yeah. So here we got Regen Red and Winky Face. Okay, so Regen Red sitting in third in the standings here with 25 points, 5 map dominations, and Winky Face down near seventh with 17 points and 4 dominations. So I gotta say, I'm sorry, B Train. He's on top for the B steps, but I don't think he's gonna be on top for this series. I'm gonna go Regen.
B Train, he's gonna find this video. He's not gonna be happy. Oh no, Ziltoid, whoa no, Regen or Winky Face, and I think it's Winky Face. Oh man, I just messed that one up. But
I gave it to Regen as well.
Regen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Regen too.
Sorry B-Train.
No, I definitely think Regen's got it. I happened to watch some of their casts, and I really liked what they were doing. So, Almost Legends versus Calculated Throw. Mark.
Yeah, so this one is just another case of Almost Legends is I believe the second team at 25 points. And Calculated Throw sitting in 6th with 18. So that's just based on the standings alone. I may have cast Almost Legends in the past. It's kind of like when you do so many in a row, they all blur together. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say Almost Legends here.
Well, and both teams have a caster of the week, an Nexus Edge caster of the week.
Ooh.
We have Belalos on Almost Legends, and then our Mystic on Calculated Throw. So, who knows what's going to happen. I really like Calculated Throw. I like their organization. They're very friendly people. They invite me to a lot of their games, even though I'm a bronze boy. Almost Legends, equally as likable. Born to Shine, obviously, one of the guests on our show, is the support for that team. And she's always in chat because she's a board member and all that stuff. So if I had to pick a team It's really tough because they're both teams of my friends, but I got to give it to Calculated Throw. That's my pick. I don't know if it's right. It's probably wrong. I'm going double upsets here in Division C East, but Ziltoid, whoa, what do you think? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, I would probably I've watched a lot of Almost Legends games this season, and while they don't always play at 100%, which has cost them probably some of their top, when they do fire on all cylinders, they're probably one of the more frightening teams in the division. So I think for sure, I don't think Calculated Throw has in the tank what they need to take out a team like Almost Legends in a best of 3.
Power of friendship. It's going to pull them through.
Mm-hmm.
They've also got good structure and organization, and that has a lot of effect on how well teams tend to perform, especially in playoffs too as well. When you've got good support structure, it's kind of the same thing with Regen Red, and why I picked them over Winky Face is that Winky Face has moments, but they don't have I don't think the same level of coaching, the same level of nearly the same effort. Not that I can speak to it, but I know what Regen Red tends to do regularly, and a lot of the players on those teams, plus Shui's on is an old teammate of mine. So Regen Red definitely was one I've been voting for.
There we go. Mark, Regen Red versus Almost Legends. Who wins it for you?
I took Regen Red here again. Yeah, I mean, I kind of went with... these teams are, in fact, tied, right? So 25 points apiece, 5 dominations, 20 map wins, but then 8 map losses versus 7.
Well, it all comes up to the head-to-head. So I'm guessing Almost Legends beat Regen Red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
It was
so
a
how
good
did that
series.
match go?
If I remember correctly, it was a 2-1 for Almost Legends in the season, and I personally, maybe this is an upset for you guys, but I picked Almost Legends going over Regen Red. Though this was one out of almost all of the brackets I looked at, this was one that I kind of went back and forth on a lot and wasn't really sure which way I wanted to go. And it just kind of almost came down to a coin flip when I'm like, you know what, just pick one and go with it.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a good series to watch.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It should be 2-1 one way or the other.
Yeah.
I do think that Regen Red, when they play on full cylinders and get the drafts they want, should be able to beat Almost Legends. So I did pick them over top.
I think if Calculated Throw beats Almost Legends, Regen Red for sure. But if it's Regen Red versus Almost Legends, I think that's a lot closer of a matchup, especially with Almost Legends taking them in the regular season. It's almost one of those where you want it to be a best of 5 right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give them the option to, play it out a little bit longer. But I think if it was Regen Red versus Almost Legends, I think Regen Red is going to take it as well. There we go. So then we have UARC. Well, I have UARC versus Regen Red. And I'm going to take Regen Red.
Wow, all the way?
All the way. Regen Red. I saw the shirt from Murda.
Yeah.
I've been
pretty serious. You got team
He
shirts.
promised you a shirt if you said they were going all the way. That's what I want.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, but Murda, get in touch with me. I'll give you my address later.
Well, this is another set of teams that had a 3-game series, and Regen Red was the one that clutched it out, I think, at the end. If I remember correctly.
I actually don't know, so your guess is as good as mine.
So I'm pretty sure. I think it was showcased on like a Thursday night showdown or something like that, or a Monday night one. I can't remember which one. Mm-hmm. But it was a tight series all the way until the last game, where Regen Red on Tomb of the Spider Queen just dumpstered UARC. So I actually expect that series to go. Now, like I said, UARC could upset because, like I said, if they've learned their lessons and they scout well and they make it this far, especially since they have to take out the Found Vikings to get there, and even Ban Show, which was a tough match for them in the regular season as well, then it could look a little bit different. And like I agree with you, best of 5 series would really be nice to see between these two, because I think that's the best way to really kind of sort out who really is the best between these two. But I do think Regen Red, like I said, if they, given the prep work, if they do that right, they should be able to take out UARC.
Now, Mark, you and Wono have the Found Vikings top half bracket. So, who wins the Found Vikings versus Regen Red?
Yeah. So, boy, I don't know. I just on Thursday I met Murder for the first time and got to cast the Thursday Night Showdown with him. And
Are you bite the hand that feeds?
Pretty cool guy, you know. So I'm gonna go Regen Red.
Yeah.
Whoa, do you agree, disagree?
Well, I had Found Vikings versus Almost Legends in that slot, so I was banking on the Almost Legends, but I still gave it to the Found Vikings. I think they have the tools that they need to take the season.
So it looks like we have between the four of us, we have it feels like every option of possible bracket that could be. So just giving you edge of your competition here. Just really helping everyone out. So, Mark, did you have something to say? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, if there are shirts, I'm a large, and I kind of like, like blue.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would take a red as well.
Yeah. Wow, just shameless shilling. We thought Woe and I were bad at shilling. Mark over here.
The guest is allowed, right? I'm no analyst here. I don't have any.
No horses in this race.
Yeah.
You can shill as much as you'd like, sir. Speaking of shilling, Rush B versus Lurk Patrol, looking at C West.
Yeah, so for this one, let me just switch over here. Rush B is the number 1 seeded team, of course. I mean, so, just like we mentioned earlier, when you kind of slide into the playoffs, you kind of have a rough matchup, so it's going to be tough for Lurk Patrol. I think it's going to definitely be Rush B 2-0.
And I've only seen one Rush B game this season, and it was against Can't Counterpick Stupid. I think it was either the Tuesday or Thursday Night Showdown, and they did Juice Pirates, but then they also did other stuff. It was incredible. So I don't know who won the Rush B versus Lurk Patrol matchup, but I'm also giving it to Rush B. You boys, Ziltoid, what do you think?
I have some upsets in this bracket in C West. Well, one major one that I think is going to kind of turn heads, but
is it Lurk Patrol?
I don't think Lurk Patrol is going to be that upset. I'm pretty sure Rush B will probably 2-0 them.
All right, well, Rush B?
Gotta give it to Rush B. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. It seems like that's pretty uncontroversial. Sorry, Lurk Patrol. But it is what it is. All right,
it's always tough with those 1 versus 8 matchups because unless that 8th seed has shown something in the season, that they're memeing a bit or a steady run of improvement and took out some top teams or something like that. It's kind of hard to really pick them against the number 1 seed who's tend to have a good steady season.
Right. Now, Mark, Ginormous Jaegers versus Plug Walk.
Yeah, so here I went with Ginormous Jaegers, but I will say that I've had the pleasure of casting Plug Walk in two different series, and I think it was the first one actually, Turd, it was you and I.
It was.
High Above the Nexus, casting some Alterac Valley or Alterac Pass games.
With our parkas.
Yeah. I had to bundle up. But so I've seen the potential from Plug Walk, but I just I'm gonna go with the Jaegers here. It's the fourth seed team versus the 7th. They got a pretty cool name. So Ginormous Jaegers.
Their name, actually, I asked them because of that matchup, is off of a rap song. It is
Plug Walk.
Plug Walk. It is
yes.
not safe for work, not safe for children. So if you have your headphones on and you're an adult, feel free to take a listen if that's something you're interested in. It was definitely interesting. So I'm undecided. So Ziltoid, tell me, who should I pick here?
It's close. I mean, 4 or 5 seed tends to be really close matchups and hard to predict. Ginormous Jaegers is, they were kind of a new kind of thrown together team at the beginning of the season. They have some powerful players on there like Gogo the Great, which do tend to make me lean towards them to take this series. And And they made some other roster. You know, they're playing also in Heroes Land, and they've got this kind of weird back and forth with rosters kind of going on. So it does depend on who they bring, and if they've been able to get some more synergy together. But I do think Ginormous Jaegers will be able to clutch it out by playoff time.
Interesting. Whoa, no. I'm still not convinced. Who do I take here?
Let me convince you. Let me tell you a story.
Tell
I don't
me.
have a story. Ginormous Jaegers.
Yeah.
They're just a really fun team to watch. They play some really interesting heroes. They play Medivh. Ziltoid already shouted out Ogle, who is a really strong player, for especially being in the C West division. The synergy and their kind of double roster where they have a ton of players, kind of almost running like 2 rosters at this point between us and Heroes Lounge. So it is kind of dependent on how much time they put in as a roster together and if the synergies have been built. But if they're firing in all cylinders and all things are going as planned, I definitely think Ginormous Jaegers take this one.
All right, I'm convinced. I'll do it. I'll put it down. Ginormous Jaegers. But, Mark, tell me, is it Rush B taking on Ginormous Jaegers? Are they going to win it?
Yeah. Again, I went with Rush B here. I think the Juice Pirates match. That may have been a series. That may have been the Monday Night Showdown that I cast, the first one, perhaps. But
That's right.
yeah, I gotta go with Rush B.
Number one seed. It's hard
Number
to
one seed.
hard to compete. Ziltoid, whoa. Are you going number one seed or are you going for the upset? Whoa, no.
Just number one.
Number one seed.
We're number
Ziltoid.
one.
Number one seed?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, Ginormous Jaegers, I think, could pull an upset, but their team state needs to be in the spot to get there. And I think Rush B has proven, if anything, this season that they are already there. So
Yeah.
That just kind of tends to lean me in their favor over top of Ginormous Jaegers.
All right. I'm convinced. Let's move. Let's keep
Let's
plugging
move
away.
on.
Mark, can't counterpick stupid. Dat task, though, I know you've casted both of these teams.
Yeah, let's see here. Can't counterpick stupid. Let me try to remember from their Valkamar. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
so it's so yeah, going into this one, let's see. Dat Tasto sitting in the 7th seed and CCS number 2. So this was my big spicy upset pick. I actually went with Dat Tast though.
Stealing my thunder. Damn you, Mark.
I've had the pleasure of casting Dat Task though twice now, and one of course was with Turd on Alterac Pass, high above the Nexus in the Parkas. And yeah, I will say they play some interesting picks. They're not afraid to kind of like break the meta a little bit.
A little bit. They played Zool, man.
Yeah, they played some Zool. Yeah, they played Medivh. And we saw Kerrigan coming out even. Kurt the God, it was called. He was referred to as in that match. Yeah, Kurt God. But yeah, so I gotta go with Dat Task though.
When I think Dat Task, though, Ziltoid, you'll be able to confirm because I know you picked them too. They won their division last year?
In season 4, they won Div West.
Got it.
Period. Or not Div West, sorry. Division D.
Division D.
They won. Yeah, all of it.
So they've seen playoffs. They've seen the grand finals.
Yeah.
Is that why you're picking them?
So with that task, though, first of all, Kurt Dog is actually a master rank player in a few seasons. It's one of those sneaky guys that kind of rides under the radar. So there are reasons why he looks as good as he does, because he is that good. So the thing about that task, though, is in season 4, my team was the Bush, and we played them first round, and we beat them 2-0. We met them in the playoffs, 2nd seed versus 7th seed, and they 2-0'd us right off the bat. Here's the thing about Dat Task, though, is they tend to meme a bit in the season, as you guys are talking about. They like to run Medivh, they like to run Zool, they like to run a lot of stuff. Playoff time comes along, They don't. They have strats. They have maps. They know what they want to play, and they come at you really hard. And I don't think Counterpick Stupid's going to be ready for this team. I do expect them to win the first round for sure.
Whoa. Can't counterpick Stupid. Are they going to be counterpicked?
I give to Can't Counterpick Stupid. Maybe this is controversial now. I didn't think it was going to be. I've heard Ziltoid's rants about DatTask, though, and how they come alive in the playoffs, but the way I see it is Can't Counterpick Stupid is the much more safe, consistent team, whereas DatTask, though, is like the high roll team. So sometimes they hit it and they hit hard, and sometimes they just fall flat. So I like consistency in my teams and my play, and I just give it to Can't Counterpick Stupid, knowing what they can do.
And I am a follower of the Church of DatTask, though. After listening to Ziltoid earlier today, before we got on air, he was preaching the cause. So I'm all about DatTask, though. I'm willing to give them a shot here at the upset. Sorry, Velkemer. I know he watches. I think it's going to be a really good match. I tend to agree that we saw the memes firsthand in the Nexus, high above the Nexus.
Yeah,
we saw the memes. And if they can pull it together and pull some more meta style comps, it's going to be a challenge. So
don't underestimate them. At the very least, don't walk away from this video underestimating DatTask, though, because they will kick you in the face.
There you go. Now, Mark, speaking of getting kicked in the face, which one, Dive Hard Paraloot, is just going to get a big boot to the face?
This one's a tough one to call.
Yeah, so let's see here. Dive Hard. They're number 3 with 17 points, and Paraloot is number 6 with 13 points. I don't personally have any. Actually, no. Yeah, was it Saturday night? I actually did a cast of Dive Hard.
So, what insights do you have for us? Were they ready?
They're good.
No, they looked pretty darn good. I saw some interesting, like some very spicy picks from Nuck. He seems to be like a kind of that hyper carry. I believe we saw Tracer coming out, Kel'Thuzad coming out, I believe.
Mephisto.
And of course, Mephisto and Tin as well. There was a lot of Tin hype in the chat during that series, pointing to the fences saying Tin will carry.
Tin is the Phoenix god, right?
Yeah, okay, so this is the thing. We had one of my first casts of this season was with B-Train.
Yeah.
And I co-casted with him Dive Hard versus Paraloot.
Oh,
this exact matchup, 100%.
All right, tell us
that was the match where both me and B-Train were talking about don't give him Phoenix, because Ken was skilled all over them on the Phoenix. So the thing is that it was outside of a few specific engagements that kind of went the other way, and like I said, a lot of carrying was happening from Tin on the Phoenix versus Paraloot. The thing is that they're aware of that now. Going into this matchup. So Paraloot and Dive Hard is going to be a pretty tough match, I think, because Paraloot still had all the tools they needed to win. And I've also seen them play in other games in the season, and they've looked actually pretty solid. So this should be a really spicy match. I don't think Paraloot's going to be allowing Phoenix to get away with what he was getting away with in that match that we casted. And it could go either way. But with that, I still pick Dive Hard to take the win. They've also been super consistent. They have the tools, and like Mark's talking about, they have a couple just key players that really can make things happen for them with some really unorthodox picks that people won't be ready for. Not a lot of teams are ready to take on Mephisto, and it was played really well in that game that we casted.
Yeah, and I think maybe just a little bit later on, we might have a clip in store to show off some of that juicy Tin Phoenix plays.
So that's
stay tuned for that.
2 Dive Hards for you guys?
Yeah.
Whoa, 3?
Yeah, give it to Dive Hard.
I'll make it 4. We're going to go Dive Hard. Sorry, Paraloot. No,
it should be a good match, and I think they could upset, but Dive Hard's probably going to win.
All right, so then we have DatTask, though, taking on Dive Hard. I'm still at the Church of DatTask.
You're riding the DatTask, though, wave?
I would recommend it.
Yeah. See, he recommends it. So I'm going DatTask, though, over
Dive Hard. I'm giving it to Dive Hard.
Dive hard for woe. Mark, what do you think?
You know, I've been feeling that Kurt Dog, Kurt God energy. I had a peach for lunch today, so I'm just gonna go with that test though.
Yeah.
Again,
very nice.
Dat Task, though, is coming in probably with strats, and while we've seen Dive Hard look strong, I've also seen them look weak, and they've had some instances where they haven't gotten everything firing together, and against a team like Dat Task, though, is almost guaranteed going to be coming with a plan, with a play ready to go. Dive Hard isn't going to have a lot of opportunities to compensate for those mistakes if they happen. And so that's why I'd say, even in just an objective point of view, not just riding the Tasto train, that those are good reasons on why you could expect to see them win this match.
Very nice. Now, Rush B versus Dat Tasto or Dive Hard, depending on how you. What are we thinking, Mark? Is the number one seed going to take it all the way?
So, Kurt Dog, I'm sorry, man.
Oh,
you guys had a good run this season. Hey, Semi, it's not bad. Rush B is a good team. So yeah, I gotta go with Rush B.
Yeah. Rush B has a lot of map wins, a lot of dominations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They are going to be the team to beat for Division C West. I hope Dat Tasto can do it, but I think it's going to be Rush B as well. Ziltoid,
I'm going to disagree.
Oh.
So here's the thing. We were second seed. We were predicted by several different people, including Murda, to win Division D. We were picked 100%. We went up against Tatas, though. They wiped us, and they didn't just beat us. They continued to beat every single team in succession all the way up to the championships where they stole it. So, again, you cannot underestimate this team. I know I'm going to look so stupid if they completely bomb. And I've been talking them up super long, but that's the thing about rolling the dice kind of in the playoffs. And if I had a feeling about a team that can come from the 7th seed or the 6th seed or the 5th seed and just walk through it outside of my own team, obviously, Dat Tasto is that team can do it.
You are evangelizing, my friend. Going to be Dat Tasto fans after this show. Whoa, no. Are you one of those evangelized fans?
No, I'm still giving it to Dive Hard over Rush B. Maybe just to be a little bit different. I've caught a couple of games. I like what they see out of them. I don't really have better reasons other than that, but I'm giving it to Dive Hard.
Does Dive Hard beat Rush B, though?
Yes.
You have Dive Hard beating Rush B?
I mean, that's an upset in and of itself. Just talking about, we're going down Dat Tasto. You think Dive Hard's going to take out Rush B? That's spicy.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think
heck
that.
Yeah.
All right, so
he
now
is on the 10 carry train.
Did we all have
going to get Phoenix that much? I just don't think it's going to happen.
Do we all have Regen Red at the top?
He looked good on other things than Phoenix.
Oh yeah. No, 10 is definitely a strong player. I don't think it's ban the Phoenix and GG. He's got other options ready.
And a lot of coverage in the rest of his team too as well.
I just want to just real quickly go back, reverse time, backspace.
All right, Chromie, settle down.
Task, though, is going to take it over Rush B. Ziltoid sold me. I'm back. I'm back. Kurt Dog. I'm with you. Dat Task all the way.
Do I have 100%. To do it too?
I've just
have you bought into the propaganda? How far in? How deep? How deep
right?
are we?
I thought you want to look with me. At least I've got friends. Yeah, I'm the only one going to be looking down when this completely burns and crashes.
I thought I was a true believer, but I'm looking at facts here. We got Rush B. Rush B's going to do it. I got a feeling.
They're a solid team, and I mean, consistency is definitely one of those keys to winning out. But like I said, if the devil and the one you don't.
All right. Well, then who wins? Because we had Regen Red at the top, and then we have a weird mix of Rush B, Dive Hard, Dat Tasto at the bottom. So who wins? Ziltoid, Mark, are you taking Dat Tasto all the way?
This is where things get spicier. I do not take the championships for Dat Tasto.
Oh,
okay.
The reason say that you have them beating Division B and D.
My ex teammate, Shui is on Regen Red. He was on the bush when we got beat by that task, though.
So he's ready.
Anybody
He's out for
knows what's coming and can prepare for it. It is Regen Red. They're the only ones that'll have the insight available to be able to pick out what's coming their way and be able to counter it, especially since that Tesla still has to go through all of the brackets. So my money is in the end, despite the Cinderella story that's going to be that Tesla from 7th seed to winning D West, is going to be they will fall in the finals versus Regen Red.
It's a best of 5, Mark. Are you a true believer or?
So, is best of 5 just is the same? Still 2 map bans or
2 map bans, and then it just goes back and forth until best
okay,
of 5.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
If you need more time, I'm gonna go to Whoa.
Go to Whoa.
Whoa. Who wins Division C?
Let me tell you, Turd. I was lost, and then I was found by a trio of Vikings.
The Found Vikings.
The Found Vikings, number 1 seed in C East, sweeping it all the way. Especially when it comes to a best of 5, I think that team just has so much depth in their skill play and their skills. They have so much depth in their hero pools. They have a lot of funky strats that they can pull out. So when it comes down to it, I was found.
Wolf folds all but winning hands.
Yeah. I picked Rush B, Grand Champions. Pretty much the same reason, but I had Regen Red winning Division C East. So I have Rush B then going all the way to the top. So there we go. Guys, one more division.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Wait, did Mark pick?
Oh.
Mark didn't pick.
It's too late to back down.
No.
That task, though, going all the way.
All right.
100%.
At least
100%.
here's the thing. I mean, it's not that big of a switch that they can make it that far. Obviously, they could also win a 5-match series against Regen Red, so it's not that far off.
Yeah,
I'm just betting on my X team to have that in line and be able to figure it out.
I'm going to try to follow them with the cast as much as I can. So hopefully I can use my newly minted veteran status to pick up can't counterpick stupid versus
might be short run.
Yeah.
Might be.
All right, guys. Division D. Now, this is the bracket that I had filled out ahead of time.
Ooh.
Because I know what's going on in Division D, allegedly.
Makes sense.
Are you guys ready, though?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You're going to hate it. You're going to hate my prediction.
Yeah, because you probably have Nexus Cats losing in round 1. That's me.
No, of course not. I have more faith in you guys than that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's start at the top of Division D East. We have Save the Murloc taking on Backbone AI and Full Meta Jacket taking on Lucidology. I'm going straight seeds here. Save the Murloc is going to take on Backbone AI. Backbone AI, I think they just barely squeaked it into the finals here. And Save the Murloc, Division E returning champions. I don't know what got into them, but halfway through the season, they just turned it on, and they kept it on, and I don't think it's off yet. Yet. See what I said there? Huh? And I same with the Full Metal Jacket and the Lucidology matchup. Lucidology had a Thursday night showdown. They've had a Monday night showdown. They've had a Tuesday night showdown, I think. But I'm going with Full Metal Jacket. Full Meta Jacket. I just think they're a very good team. They're going to be very difficult to defeat. I think Lucidology has been getting better, but they've gotten good enough to beat them. But I'm willing to be surprised.
The key with that one, Lucidology and Full Metal Jacket, is if the captain remembers to close his windows to ward off bat attacks. Because if there's no bad invasion going on during their matchup, I think Lucidology will it'll stay a lot more focused.
Yeah, that'll certainly help things. So, Mark, what does your Division D East bracket look like?
Yeah, so I also went STM over Backbone. We've played against both of these teams, myself and the Nexus Cats, and I think Backbone is not to be completely overlooked. Yeah, because they can do a really good job at like staying in, making it to the late game, kind of no matter what, through what I've seen. So, but I still gotta go. Yeah, they got a backbone. Yes, I'd still go STM here.
There you go. Whoa, Ziltoid, thoughts?
Keep her short and sweet since you guys have the real analysis. Save the Murloc over Backbone, full meta jacket over Lucidology.
There we go. Ziltoid, do you agree, disagree?
Those safe hands, but I have to agree with him on this one.
Yeah.
I have a little more insight though, because I try to stay on top of as many of these, out of my own division matches as possible. From what I've seen from Lucidology, yeah, like maybe it was a bat flying it in, or maybe they just have a tendency to be a bit inconsistent in their play, and I think that tends to affect them in quite a few of the matches that they've played so far. And full meta jacket has just been that solid. You kind of can come in and know what to expect, but if you can't beat them, you can't beat them, and I think they've shown that quite a bit this season. Save the Murloc, again, watched a lot of those matches. They are my initial prediction to win all of Div D, at the beginning of the season. So I'm definitely going to stay on that train because they haven't disappointed. They had a a bit of a slow start, like they do pretty much every single season. But ever since they've turned it on, they like you said, Turd, they haven't turned it off. They've just been strong and consistent straight out the gate since then.
Absolutely. Now let's move to the best half of the division. It's throwing shade. We have Frank's Furters taking on Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, and Nexus Cats taking on Two Calculated to Throw. I'll start with that latter match. I picked the Nexus Cats. Might shock a lot of people.
I'm going with the Nexus Cats as well, Turd.
That's 2-2. Okay, so that's it. We don't need to move on. No. So the Nexus Cats have played Two Calculated to Throw in the regular season. I think the Nexus Cats had a fairly dominating performance, but because I have certain insight, we have been practicing specifically for this matchup. We have been looking at casts. We have been talking with our coach. We have been talking about map picks. We have been we're ready for this matchup. And I just, kind of what Woe was saying, you don't want to not pick yourself, but also I just think it's going to be a very, very good match for the Nexus Cats. I hope I can play in it, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll check in with Arthana about that one. Yeah.
And then going back to Frank's Furters versus Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, this is, in my mind, I think it's going to be probably one of the toughest round one match, or at least one of the closest here. Frank's Furters are definitely the favorites, but Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, although they're a slightly different team than last year, they were the team that defeated my former team in the playoffs. They kind of like Save the Murloc have a weird, uncanny ability to just turn it on in the playoffs. We had certainly underestimated them last year, and I'm not sure that Frank's Furters is necessarily respecting that matchup like they should. So I think it could be close to like a coin toss kind of map in my mind. If I absolutely had to pick someone, I'd probably just have to give it to the seeded favorite, Frank's Furters, but I think it could go either way, honestly. What do you guys think about the bottom half of the bracket, Mark?
Yeah, that was a lot. That was very well said here about Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits and Frank's. I think I might go with an upset here. Give it to Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits. I know, Frank's has definitely been looking forward to another Nexus Cats match for sure. So I think maybe this might be a situation where they're a little too focused on that round two. So not as much focused about round one. So I think Olaf can take it here.
And I'll say that's what happened to Meme Factory last year. We were worrying about the Married and Mediocre matchup, which wound up being Save the Murloc, and we're not worried about Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits whatsoever. And they're deceptive, and they're just slippery. They'll get right past you. Mm-hmm. So, whoa, what do you think?
I played it safe both these times. Frank's Furters and Nexus Cats were my two picks for these first two games. Frankfurters and Sweaty Bandits, I think that one will be close. I don't know if they're sweaty enough.
Yeah.
They're sweaty, but can
Not
they
that
can
sweaty.
they work up the sweat?
Yeah. Ziltoid, what are you thinking?
I feel like Wono is a name you earned through poker. Hold 'em and fold 'em, Wono.
Yeah.
But again, just like him, we don't have the insights that you guys do. It's the same thing with us in B West, where because we've played and scrimmed a lot of the teams in our division, we kind of have an inside track on what to expect from certain teams and how we actually match up against them. Just like, we're talking about our ability to probably make it through to the finals. We're not basing that off of just, because we think so. We have a good idea of what to expect from a lot of these teams that we're going into. And that insight is very interesting to hear about Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits because, based off paper, based off what I've seen from Frankfurters and the fact that I have only seen one match of Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, which, by the way, they did win, and they did win in an unorthodox way. So yeah. I'm starting to understand a bit of kind of what you're talking about because they like to play Vikings. They like to play off meta stuff that you're not going to expect right off the bat, and they do come in prepared. So while I did choose Frankfurters to win that, and it is, my bracket's been locked in since before we started the show. I can't make any changes. I will stick with that, but I do think that your arguments for Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits coming in and actually making an upset happen, especially based off what happened last year, I'm going to make a mental switch of that and actually kind of assume that they might actually go through.
We'll see. All right,
and then
so
Nexus Cats versus Too Calculated to Throw.
Sorry.
I do think you guys can. I've seen a lot of your play actually this season. I haven't necessarily just been watching you guys, but you're casted quite a bit. So I catch a lot of those matches. And from what I've seen, you definitely have the tools to take out a team like Too Calculated to Throw, who have a consistency issue in their play, and they are predictable in the draft. So I think you guys have the edge.
Very nice. Whoa, Nexus Cats? Yeah, you said Nexus Cats.
I said Nexus Cats.
All right, so then we have...
I just took the rest of the time to flame them a bit.
Well, you did a much better job than just me and Mark standing over here saying, oh yeah, Nexus Cats. All right, so staying in... I don't think we talked about the top half. Did we talk about Save the Murloc versus Full Metal Jacket?
No.
I have Save the Murloc. Again, same reason that I have them over Backbone. They turned it on, and they've kept it on. I think it's going to be these round 2 matches, if they go as I have predicted, are going to be the matches to watch out of Division D, at least Division D East. They're going to be very close. They're going to be knockdown, drag them out fights. There will not be an easy winner. They probably will be decided 2-1, but I really think Save the Murloc is going to pull it off. I don't remember who won. Well, Save the Murloc won in the regular season, I think, but it's close. So, Mark, same thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, based on our personal history with these two teams, I believe Save the Murlocs was the only team to take a 2 over us, if that's correct. And then
I think that's right.
FMJ we lost to as well, but it was a 2-1. So, I'll give it to STM here. Also based on what you said as well, Turd, with that momentum, basically.
There we go, guys. Save the Murloc.
Save the Murloc. From what I've heard, from what I've seen, the momentum is a very big part of it, and they seem to be a very strong playoff team. They've been in the playoffs before. They've been to the finals before. They know what it takes to get there. So I think just having that experience over a newer team like Full Metal Jacket is going to really serve them well.
Very nice. Ziltoid?
He had all the analysis that time. This is exactly how I feel about it. Save the Murloc won Division E last season, right?
They did. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think the fact that they also came into Div D East, won the season point score, and are coming in top seed into the playoffs, I think just sets them up for a pretty, I feel, a very straightforward track for them to make to the finals.
Yep. And going back down, Frankfurters versus Nexus Cats. I'm going with Nexus Cats. Now, to make sure that I sound like I'm not shilling here for my team, so Frankfurters was our first loss in the regular season. We took a 2-1, so we did take one map off of them. But just psychologically from our team and our team chat, it being our first loss, it really changed the way we focused on the game. I think it refocused us. And, we have been kind of looking back to those matches and to see what went wrong. What could we do differently? And I really just don't think that there's going to be any question here that Nexus Cats are ready for Frankfurters, and they will take the win here. I don't think Frankfurters has been preparing as much as we have for this matchup because of that loss. And that's just my thoughts. Maybe I am a shill. I don't know. Mark, are you shilling?
Well, I'm choosing Nexus Cats.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So yeah, I mean, like I had Olaf up there, but really it's that match Olaf and Franks in the first round is going to be one to watch. Either team that makes it through, it's going to be, I'd say, a good matchup for us. But yeah, like you said, Franks they got us early in the season. I think we were definitely like a little bit of a wake up call because at that point we were like maybe two or three dominations in. So yeah. So kind of going over those replays, talking with our coach, and then just the other growth that we've like experienced throughout this league. I think we're definitely a different team in playoffs here than we were, week 4 or whatever it was. So yeah, I've got to go with the Nexus Cats.
I'm all about it. Whoa, no, are you all about the Nexus Cats?
Oh baby, I am all in on the Nexus Cats.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, it's not just because I'm good friends with you guys and we do this show every week. Like that. It plays into it, but it's not the reason. The reason being is from obviously I don't know all the Div D teams personally, but from what I've seen and what I hear, you guys might be the hardest working Division D team that I know. With putting in the replay review, putting in the scrims, getting coaching, working on yourselves as individuals, working on yourselves as a team. I don't know if anyone else in the division is putting in quite as much work and preparation as you guys are. And I really think it is paying off for you guys. And you're still not done growing as a team. You're still getting better week to week. Sure, you've had some stumbling blocks and some losses, but I really do believe in the Cats, and I think you guys can take it.
Wow. Yeah.
And show that's it. We're done.
Yeah. No. It's kind of cool to see someone saying some cool things about us. I think we have been putting in a lot of work, so it's cool to see someone who just kind of third hand takes it in. So, Ziltoid, what do you think?
So, because I'm seesawing over Olaf and Sweaty Bandits and Frankfurters now, like I said, I originally picked them to go, but your arguments have made me think it could go either way. Going up against you guys, Frankfurters, like you said, you took the loss, you can learn from that loss, and you can put it to good use. So assuming you get the drafts, you guys are prepared, you're ready to go into this, you definitely have the tools that you need to be able to beat Frankfurters. And like I even noticed it in the matches that I watch or whatever the case is, I watched your guys match with Frankfurters and the loss. And guys, it wasn't off. Like it was close. But all 3 games were nail biters to the edge. And just a slight couple more adjustments, you'd see Nexus Cats winning that just as easily as Frankfurters was, not easily, but would have been able to win that matchup. So if you guys are prepped and ready to go into this matchup, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to beat Frankfurters. Now, Olaf and Sweaty Bandits is a bit of a wild card. And your strength in macro is, I think, where you get a lot of that advantage against Frankfurters. And I think Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits is one of those teams in your division that understands macro. So it could be more of a questionable kind of who's going to come out over top of that. It's really going to be who you're better prepared for. But I do have in my bracket Nexus Cats advancing to the next round.
There we go. So then it goes Save the Murloc versus Nexus Cats. I think this is going to be very close. If I wasn't on the Nexus Cats, would I say the Nexus Cats were going to win? I don't know. But I think the Nexus Cats, so hear me out. I played during the regular season against the Save the Murloc. Lulu, our OP Malfurion god.
Yep.
She was playing, or she was unable to play that night. So I was playing secondary Malfurion god and did not do a very good job. I think playing with our tip-top roster against this tip-top team I think the Nexus Cats are going to pull it off. I have faith in Lulu and the rest of the team that they will pull together. But I think it is going to be a very, very, very close match. Mark, do you agree?
I agree with everything except for the part where you said you didn't do a great job, Turd. You did fantastic subbing in. It was not that we had a sub that we lost. I think there was some we were trying out some new things, some new maps. So yeah, I don't think it's because we had Turd Herder, but everything else, I agree.
Well, thank you. It is nice to have someone to go to and just, especially when it's the Nexus Cats. So, Wono, Nexus Cats versus Save the Murloc. Who's going to do it?
Cats.
Yes.
That's what I got.
That's all you got. Ziltoid, are you going to break the streak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my bracket says Save the Murloc, but I've heard some pretty convincing arguments before the stream from Arthanow. Yeah. And I do have faith in you guys. So it is another one of those that I've locked in my bracket. It is what it is, but I think you guys could definitely win that matchup for sure. Save the Murloc's going to be a tough fight.
It will. Yeah. Oh, no doubt about that.
Worry about getting there first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I think that's going to be probably one of the toughest fights. I mean, honestly, any of those matches on the way up there are going to be really tough. But I think we're ready. So let's talk about Division D West. I think we're done we're almost done talking about the Nexus Cats. So starting out with the top half of the Division D West bracket, it looks a little silly, and the reason being because Clouded Minds and OC Peach Boys coming in at what is that? The number
4 and 5.
4 and 5 spot.
Okay.
They spent a lot of the division at the very, very top. It was 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and now they find themselves in 4 and 5. That's going to be a spicy matchup. That's the kind of matchup you would have expected if you would have asked me 4 weeks ago. It would have been Clouded Minds versus OC Peach Boys in the semifinals. But now we're playing right in round 1. That's going to be tough. And it's another Any Given Sunday. I wrote OC Peach Boys, then I erased it, then I wrote Clouded Minds, then I erased it. Yeah, you get the picture. We were talking a little bit off air, and I went with Clouded Minds. Just the consistency. They have been at the top for a long time. I think they know what they need to do. I think they started maybe taking some losses right at the right time of the season, right at the end, so that they can kind of be ready to take on OC Peach Boys. And then Boogan Squad kind of came out of nowhere. I only say that because I wasn't really honed in on them, but they're number one seed going up against Disturbance. And I really think that Boogan Squad is going to take it out and just drop Disturbance out. So we'll be seeing Boogan Squad versus Clouded Minds in the that round 2 match. And I actually gave it to Clouded Minds. Okay. I just think the consistency is going to carry him through. And frankly, if OC Peach Boys winds up beating Clouded Minds, I think OC Peach Boys will be taking on Boogan Squad. So that's just my thoughts. Guys, Mark, what do you think about Division D West? Do you know much about these guys?
I don't have any experience here with Boogan or Disturbance. But yeah, just based on the standings, I gotta go with Boogan, of course. And then Clouded Minds and Peach Boys. I have cast one series for the Peach Boys, so I've seen some of their potential there. But yeah, just kind of based on what you said about Clouded Minds being on top, earlier, having that first seed for a decent portion of the season, I'll go with Clouded Minds. Yeah, seems good.
All right, Wono, what do you got?
I think my bracket looked identical to yours, Turd. I got Boogan Squad taking out Disturbance. Disturbance out of all the teams in this D West are probably the weakest. I mean, they're the 8th seed. They're the 8th seed, but just going over points, there's quite a drop between the 7th seed to the 8th seed in number of points. So I just think Disturbance maybe is a little outclassed here. Clouded Minds, OC Peach Boys, you talked about it. They were number 1 and 2, 2 and 3. They were looking real strong all season, and both of them kind of dropped right near the end. I valued the consistency of Clouded Minds, and they've been a long-time NGS team, so a lot of history with them, a lot of consistency. Give it to them over OC Peach Boys, and then I got them riding it over Boogan Squad. And that's partially because I don't know much about Boogan Squad, and I do know something about Clouded Minds, so maybe it's familiarity, but Clouded Minds over Boogan Squad.
There we go. Ziltoid, what does your bracket look like?
Boogan wins over Disturbance. And then we have Clouded Minds over OC Peach Boys, but like everyone else has talked about, it's super tight between those teams. Could be either or. There's consistency, but there's also a predictability aspect of that you have to consider, and that's the thing. Going into a second round, another rematch situation, one over the other, it becomes a little harder to predict who's going to actually take it out. In Boogan Squad versus the others, I mean, I did go with Boogan Squad. I've seen one match of theirs, and it was pretty convincing. And so I think that team definitely has been secretly sitting back there going, well, we're really consistent, really strong, and we can do even better. And that's what I'm thinking I'm betting on. Whereas I think I've seen what Clouded Minds can do, and I think it's enough to carry them into the semis, but I don't think it's enough to take them past that.
So you have them beating Boogan or no? So Boogan over
wins.
Clouded Minds for Ziltoid. All right. And then looking at the bottom half of Div D West, we have Pigeon Stitches versus Stranger Pings, and Asmo Carry versus Sack of Bricks. I have Pigeon Stitches beating Stranger Pings. Now, I don't know much about Stranger Pings, but I am familiar with Pigeon Stitches. They were a top team out of Division E last season. I think they've kept most, if not all, of their same roster. They were a top team in Heroes Lounge, I think. I'm pretty sure about that. And, from week to week, I spit out the Division D stats. Black and Davian had a couple. Slava was leading in kills, I think. Don't quote me on that, but and they've actually also, I'm reading their bio right now, they've actually also competed in Season 4, rather. So they are a team that knows what the playoffs look like. I think they're going to beat Stranger Pings, who I understand is a newer team, I think. Yeah, they look like a newer team. So definitely think Pigeon Stitch is going to take that there. Now, Asmo Carry versus Sack of Bricks. Now, I think I would go Sack of Bricks, but they've had a very late roster change. They've lost one of their players who I think may have been responsible for kind of helping them get to where they were, make them, help them get into the playoffs. And I think because of the loss, that's just kind of going to be a void that they're going to have to be struggling to fill. And I really think Asmo Carry, although it is their first playoff break, I think Asmo Carry is going to take it over Sack of Bricks. And then I just think that Pigeon Stitches is going to take out Asmo Carry in the, I guess, quarters or whatever, the round 2 matchups, mostly because they have the experience and everything. And so it'll be Pigeon Stitches taking on Clouded Minds. But before we get to that matchup, what do you guys think about the bottom half of the bracket? Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, so I can't comment too much on Asmo Carry and Sack of Bricks, but I'm based on your little tidbit there about Sack of Bricks dropping one of their members. I'm gonna give that one to Asmo Carry, even though Asmodin's been nerfed, and I don't know if he's really suited to carry anymore. I'll still go with Asmo Carry. And then Pigeon Stitches and Stranger Pings. So I actually on the Thursday night showdown, last Thursday, I cast Peach Boys and Pigeon Stitches. So that was a fantastic series, like very great games to watch. It was a 2-1, went to 3 games. And yeah, when I asked, Black and Davian over at Pigeon Stitches who they had their eyes on for the bracket, they said no one. They felt pretty comfortable against all the Div D West teams. But instead, it was a team from Division D East that they were looking to play.
Oh, and What team was that, Mark?
He said the Nexus Cats. Yeah, the Pigeon Stitches.
Ziltoid is not having it.
They said, we're not afraid of any team in our division, so he sounded pretty confident. The games look good. They played some interesting heroes, so I'll give it to him here, and yeah, maybe we'll see him go get their wish and go against the Cats again.
There you go. So, whoa, Ziltoid. Pigeon Stitches taking on Asmo Carry, or how does bracket look?
I made a mistake when I made my bracket. I totally forgot that Sack of Bricks had recently lost a key player in their organization, so I had them taking out Asmo Carry in the first game. If I was to retroactively make my bracket, I think I would lean to the team formerly known as Clappin' Sacks, Asmo Carry. But as it is, I've got.
I forgot about that.
I've got Sack of Bricks taking that first game. Pigeon Stitches, Stranger Pings. Like you guys, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about Stranger Pings. I do know Pigeon Stitches. I know they're a veteran team. I know they're a solid team. I've played them before, just in scrims, and I like what they do. So I give it to Pigeon Stitches. And then in my Pigeon Stitches versus Sack of Bricks matchup, I got to give it to Pigeon Stitches.
Yeah. So Ziltoid, do we have Pigeon Stitches going up against what, into the semis?
Asmo Carry? Yeah.
You have Asmo Carry.
No. I think Pigeon Pitches will Pigeon Stitches. Pigeon Pitches. Oh, there we go. Will actually beat Asmo Carry, yes, but I do think it will be that matchup in the semis. Asmo Carry actually has they play odd things and they can be a bit unpredictable. And they shot call interestingly, and a few of the matches that I've seen could catch them by surprise. I don't think it was enough to beat Pigeon Stitches before on the showdown that we had actually of them on Tuesday night. But you never really know. Maybe they're hiding. It could be a situation where they're hiding strats. I mean, they are the number 3 seed. They probably felt comfortable in their point position, so it might not have been. If they're a team that depends on having kind of weird strategies, they might not be willing to show them up into the playoffs, so they could upset. But I do have Pigeon Stitches going on.
Yeah, so all right, so that's everyone. So now we have Pigeon Stitches. I have Pigeon Stitches versus Clouded Mind. Is that everyone's matchup?
No.
You don't. Okay, so why don't you go first then?
So I have Boogan Squad versus Pigeon Stitches. I'm pretty sure Boogan Squad is one of the teams that beat Pigeon Stitches this season.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I think Boogan Squad's one of those teams that secretly is super strong. They've got a lot of strats. They've got a lot of things going for them. And have just been scoring points on people a lot of time because no one knows what to expect going into them. And Pigeon Stitches is one of those teams that likes to stick to things that work for them, and they tend to lack. The biggest weakness I think they have is their adaptability. So going up against Boogan Squad, I really don't think that they might not have the tools to deal with what Boogan Squad's going to bring to the table, given that matchup happens.
Very interesting. I have Pigeon Stitches taking on Clouded Minds, and I have Pigeon Stitches winning. I just think they're a team that's ready. Now, Clouded Minds, I think, were in Division D last year, so they're actually a higher... I guess potentially they could have been a higher seeded team this season. But I just think... I think Pigeon Stitches also have a coach. I say also compared to like Nexus Cats. I just think Pigeon Stitches will be taking on Clouded Minds. So, whoa, do you agree?
Yep, so I got the Pigeon Stitches and Clouded Minds matchup, and I give it to Pigeon Stitches as well. I just think they have what it takes to take the DOS division and take down Clouded Minds.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, I went with... I actually had Boogan and Pigeon Stitches for my 2.
There we go.
Yeah.
So who do you have? Do you have Pigeon Stitches taking on Boogan Squad?
Yes. Yep. And I would yeah, I don't have too much insight around Boogan. I don't think I've seen them. I haven't cast them. I haven't seen any of their matches.
Makes them hard to predict, and they are number 1.
Mm-hmm.
There's reasons.
Well, I'll humor the idea that Pigeon Stitches gets to play Nexus Cats in the finals one more time. So we'll go Pigeon Stitches on that.
All right.
And if it was Cloud Mines versus Pigeon Stitches, I think Pigeon Stitches wins that.
All right. So starting with you again, Ziltoid. So if it's Boogan Squad versus Nexus Cats in the grand finals, who? Well, you didn't have Nexus. Oh, you had Save the Murloc.
I have Save the Murloc.
So Boogan Squad versus Save the Murloc.
Save the Murloc. I think
Save the
their
Murloc.
overall experience, playoff power, that kind of stuff like that coming to is easier to predict. So it makes more sense for me that they can win it in a best of 5. But I think the unpredictability could definitely work in Boogan Squad's favor, and it will depend on kind of how well Save the Murloc scouts and adapts to change to compensate. If they don't, though, Boogan Squad could potentially win it. But yeah, I do have Save the Murloc winning out.
Now, if it's Nexus Cats versus Boogan Squad, who do you think wins it?
I honestly would say the exact same thing. If you
That's
guys
a good answer.
have the preparation you need going into that matchup, and are able to get the information you need to be able to know what they play and work around that, then you definitely have a chance to win. But Boogan Squad will be, if they're the ones that make it, they'll be a really tough cookie to crack, I think.
Oh yeah, and so my pick, obviously Nexus Cats. So I have Nexus Cats going up against Pigeon Stitches, just like Mark, just like Black and Davian wants.
Yep.
I really want to see what the Nexus Cats can do with the best of 5 series. I think when we've faced tough teams, we have taken them, 2-1, and the only reason, it's 1-1-1. I just wonder if the Nexus Cats can pull off the 1-1-1. 1-1, or something like that. Yeah, this is good. 1-1, 1-1-1, 1-1-1. No, but just the I think the Nexus Cats will thrive under the best of 5 series because their ability to make minor tweaks for the better. And I think that'll be good. Also, a little behind the scenes, Pigeon Stitches and Nexus Cats early on in the season, I think it was maybe right after the loss to Frank's Furters, scrimmed against each other. And to make your bracket choices a little bit more tough, they split the series. So I think the Nexus Cats, in my opinion, handedly beat Pigeon Stitches in the first game. But then I think Mark would probably agree that the Pigeon Stitches handedly beat Nexus Cats in the game too. So that is a real spicy matchup. I hope it happens. I will be watching and or playing, hopefully playing.
Yeah.
My pick is still Nexus Cats. But if it gets down to those two, it could be anyone's game. So, whoa, bring it home.
I got Nexus Cats going all the way, boys. I got to jump on the bandwagon, and I'm going to keep it pretty short for all the reasons I said previously when I was hyping you guys up. I think you do the work, you do the research, you have the coaching, you put the time in. Nexus Cats. Looking good.
There we go. Guys, that's it. We finished the brackets. If you're watching, you now have all the information you need, maybe. Get your brackets in by Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday time, right? Wednesday, middle of the day.
No, it's Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. PT, so end of day Wednesday.
End of day Wednesday. Get your brackets in. Any games that are played by the time Wednesday is submitted will be counted as single points or whatever. But get those brackets in. You have a chance to win some skins. All right, guys. That's it. We have wrapped out the brackets. We have wrapped out the show. This was quite a long episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you the top 5 highlights of the week, which we have chosen, and we're going to send it as a separate video for you guys to enjoy at your leisure when you're done watching this episode. So go ahead and keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for that. That's it, guys. We're done. I want to thank
spicy. Looking forward to it.
I want to thank all of our panelists for, especially our guest Mark, for sitting in on a exceptionally long episode.
I was told this would be a very short one. I got dinner reservations that I had to cancel. So no, but thank you guys so much for having me. It was awesome to be a part of this. Nexus Edge is great. I love NGS. Has been just so much fun. You know, since the announcement about HGC and whatnot, you know, a little bit of a bummer, but I was like, man, I still love Heroes. I want to like double down. I want to do more in the amateur scene. I want to do more than just playing. I want to start casting. So it's been awesome to get more into the NGS. It's a fantastic organization.
And Nexus Edge now.
Yeah, now Nexus Edge. What's next? I don't know.
Who knows, Mark? Where can the people reach you?
Oh, well, geez, I don't know, Turd. Maybe twitch.tv/MarcZombie. Stream Heroes of the Storm and a bunch of other content as well. Oh.
Great. Wono, where can the people find you?
Please come and flame my playoff predictions at Wono Hots on Twitter or anywhere on the NGS Discord. PM me, at me, I don't care. Flame my picks. I'm Wono.
Also, send your flame of my picks also to Wono Hots.
I will take them.
Yeah.
The unofficial complaint department here.
Yeah, there you go. Ziltoid, where can the people find you?
At PS Ziltoid on Twitter, twitch.tv/PS Ziltoid on Twitch, and my actual name, Jonathan Hansen, at YouTube. Because I haven't figured out how to switch that over properly yet.
I know I started a separate one with my my nickname, so it isn't my real name.
That's the way it goes. But yeah, if you guys just show up there, we got a lot of great content. And you can find us even on just Nexus Gaming Series YouTube as well. So you can check that out as well. Lots of past games, showdowns, which I've casted in. I also have the Nexpert series there that you should check out, and a few other things. And Nexus Edge episodes, obviously.
Perfect. I'm, of course, Turd Herder. You could find me at Turd Herder Hots on Twitter. You cannot find me on Twitch. I still am in Twitch jail. So, I don't know. One of these days I'll get access to it. But for the time being, I don't have Twitch. Real quick, Patreon shout out. If you are interested in becoming a patron to the NGS Nexus Gaming Series, go ahead and click the link below. It'll be right down there, and you'll find all kinds of cool prizes. You'll have various rubber chickens in various sizes, among other things. So go ahead, take a peek, and go. Feel free to pledge per month. So real quick, before we leave, I want to give a shout out to Key, BMed, Monkus, -40, Ryokai, Hemibo, Chaotic Order. Those are our research analysts working behind the scenes in various capacities, helping us with our brackets, as much as they can help. They have their own brackets. Maybe we'll be able to post those somewhere. But without you guys, this would be much more difficult. So thank you. That's it. This is Turd Herder here saying adios, amigos. Remember to stay safe in the Nexus. Take your hots to the edge.